Manipulators are absolutely everywhere. And if you don't learn how to deal with them, you will always be prey to their manipulations. Why is that? Because manipulators are the masters of passive aggression, of of making your life absolutely miserable by playing with your emotions or playing with whatever cards that they have ahead of you. And if you never learn how to deal with these manipulators, you will always be their prey. So listen closely.
I think we all have the point. Everyone just tries to steal everything.
So how did I learn about manipulators? Well, I've dealt with a lot of manipulators in my life, and the more manipulators I've dealt with, the better I've become with it. So I've had to deal with, narcissist manipulators, I had to deal with passive-aggressive manipulators, I had to deal with, ruthless manipulators that, just want to get your money and all that crap, or, different types of manipulators, even bullying sort of manipulators. I've met so many manipulators in my life, and I learned how to spot them and how to cut them out. Which is why now in my life, I only have my 5 to 10 to 15 close friends that are absolutely amazing. No toxicity, nothing, no, just pure people with good intentions, positive people who are only there to help, right? So you can achieve this sort of life if you learn how to spot manipulators and cut them out of your life. But the first step is to spot them and learn how to deal with them, right? So in this video, I'm going to explain to you basically how to deal with a manipulator when it happens, how to deal with a manipulation, and also I'm going to give you 8 tips, sort of the mindset as to how to deal with the manipulation when it's happening to you, because manipulation is very taxing mentally, emotionally. When you're entangled in it and someone is trying to throw shit at you, it can be quite draining. So you want to be in the right state of mind when you are doing these steps that I'm going to tell you. So the first thing you want to do when you're dealing with a manipulator is to confront them. Simple as that. You want to confront them. Whatever thing they did to you, if they were mean to you, if they said that evil thing to you, they said, oh, you're stupid, oh, your shirt is bullshit, whatever, it's a bully or whatever, you want to confront them right now. You want to tell them, hey, I didn't like the way you were talking to me last time, or that backhanded compliment that you told me, or whatever you told me. I don't want to hear this again, please. Just don't say that again. It's incredibly hurtful, and I don't want to be on bad terms with you. Okay, whatever, you confront them. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you confront them and you try to arrive at a consensus, or you try to arrive at sort of like them apologizing, or, them being nice or whatever, something like that. You want to arrive at some sort of conclusion with them. So let's say you arrive at a conclusion. Amazing, they say they're not going to manipulate you back. Okay, great. They're going to be mean to you back. And that's what they say. And it happens again. What do? What is step number 2 is you confront them once again. And the next time you confront them, you tell them, hey, so last time you told me you're going to stop and you did it again. What's the matter here, dude? What's the matter here? Why are you acting like this? Can't you keep your promises? What's wrong with you? You just confront them, and, not in an angry way, not in sort of like a forceful way to attack them back, but just bring attention to the facts, bring attention to their wrongdoing, just so you shine on light upon their manipulation, right? Because manipulation, if you shine the light on it, if you shine the light on their manipulation, then if you expose them, they're more likely to stop. Right? Sometimes they don't. Okay? Sometimes what they do sort of these clever tricks, and they pretend to be sorry, but they're not sorry, and then they hit you back again with their stupid shit again 1 week from now, right? Which is why you confront them a second time, and so you just want to at least try to confront them in that scenario. And if that doesn't work, the confrontation, and you cannot arrive at a solution, okay, then you try to exit the situation, right? Can you just be in a way, can you avoid this social scenario completely? You just never see them, you never encounter them. Can you find a way to just never see them again, right? And I don't know, if it's someone at school that you're gonna see anyway, can you just never make eye contact with them? Can you just let them walk by you and you just not even respond to whatever they say? You don't even look at them. You don't even look at them, and you just ignore them. So you try to exit the situation, okay, if you can. If you cannot exit the situation, and they're always here, right? They're always around you, just try to ignore them. Try to ignore them. And if that doesn't work, then you play to their game. You play to their game. Like whatever they do, that they're passive aggressive, you know, and you cannot escape the scenario, and they're just making your life absolutely miserable. Then you make their life miserable too. Okay, so let's say they tell you something. Hey man, like I feel incredibly like wrong because you didn't do this part. You didn't do this. You were supposed to clean the floor. You didn't do it. Whatever. I don't know whatever stupid shit, and that they throw at you. And on their part, and then you say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna clean the floor, but please also clean the floor when it's your turn, and they don't do it, or I don't know, they come up with some excuse, and obviously you're getting the short end of the stick. Then just play to their game. And when they tell you to do something, since they've never done anything that you know you ask of them, when they ask you something, don't fucking do it. As simple as that. I don't know. This is sort of like, you have to look at what they're doing wrong, okay? And the point is not that you want to hurt that person. The point is not that you want to make their life absolutely miserable. The point is you just want to respect yourself, right? You play the game with them, not because you want to make their life worse, but just because you respect yourself. You respect your own needs, you respect your own boundaries, and that's just what you gotta do. So you play their game. And as you play their game, here is the mindset that you want to keep in mind. So here's the mindset you want to have when dealing with a manipulator, okay? Number one, you want to trust your gut. Trust your gut. What does that mean? It's that whatever your gut is telling you about that person, it's probably true, right? You know, us humans, we are social animals, and we have this thing in our brain called the mirror neurons, where whatever you are feeling, that other person is feeling, right? So if someone feels a certain way, or if they have something off about them, your mirror neurons will just pick up on them, and you should feel that thing in your gut, right? So, you know, if you ever walk down the street and you just see that this weird person kind of walking next to you, and you just have this gut feeling that, okay, this person is fucked up, I'm gonna walk the other side of the street, right? And I always have that. So when I have this gut feeling, I just walk away, right? So listen to that gut feeling when it's telling you something, because it is probably true. And if you're unsure about your gut feeling, then one of my best tactics is try to gather information about that person, right? So for example, I was struggling with a narcissistic person who was kind of fake, right? Kind of in my surrounding. So then I had this feeling that he was sort of fake and narcissistic, but I was like, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. So I just asked one of my friends, hey dude, so do you talk to that person? How are they like? They said, you know, why don't you hang out with them anymore? And my friend, he just told me, well, you know, he was trying to sell me something, and it was weird. He was trying to sell me his program, his coaching. And then it's just like, I was resistant to say yes, so I said I'll think about it, and he was just extremely pushy and extremely sort of, you know, he was extremely mad, but he pretended like he was happy, and he said like, oh, you know what, it doesn't matter if you don't buy it right now, and like, but he was extremely mad, but it was obvious that he was mad, and he was trying to hide it. So I really had a bad feeling about this guy, so I didn't want to hang out with this guy. Okay, so like, oh, here's another data point, right? So you can sort of look at these things and sort of these signs from other people's contact with that person to add on to your repertoire of like data of what that person is about. So to deal with the manipulator, you have to know who they are about. What kind of person are they? What kind of fucked up things have they done? What kind of attitude do they have? What kind of personality do they have, right? So you want to gather information. The second tip to deal with a manipulator is to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself is simple, right? Because, you know, a manipulator, what they like to do is to gaslight you, right? Gaslight you as in like, they're going to say something to you that, you know, you never said, right? So for example, you said, oh, I was gonna, I don't know, let's say your narcissist girlfriend tells you, oh, you told me you were gonna clean the dishes, you didn't clean them, and you're like, I never said that. And then she's gonna insist, no, you told me that the other time, and you said you were gonna clean the dishes at 6 p.m. like you always do, you never did it, right? And it's just this weird phenomena. And if you start to believe their lies, if you stop believing in yourself and start believing their lies, guess what? You've already lost. Because a manipulator if they succeed at you losing belief in yourself, and they succeed at making you like a puppet or slave, because obviously they're right and you're wrong, then you've already failed. So you have to believe in yourself, stand your ground, and no matter what they tell you, remember that you are not going crazy. A successful manipulator will try to make you, a manipulator will always try to make you look like the manipulator. A successful manipulator will always try to make you look like the manipulator. So you always want to pay attention to that. The number 3 tip to deal with a manipulator is to never apologize. Do not apologize unless you really have to, or it's really something you should apologize about, okay? Never apologize for something that you don't need to apologize about. You always want to keep calm when they try to gaslight you, when they try to throw things at you, or like throw emotions at you, like, oh, I'm fucking pissed off because you should have fucking done this, but you didn't. Just stay calm, don't say sorry, and just listen to them. Just listen to them, let them react, let them fall into your trap. Because if they are the ones emotionally reacting and you stay calm, guess what? You will not be manipulated. Don't fall for their fucking guilt trips when they're trying to make you feel guilty, like, oh, well, you know what? I just need my peace of mind. I just need things to be quiet, so I don't like you making noise here. Whatever it is, like, you don't want to fall for their trap. Why? Because you have certain needs. You have a right to exist. You have a right to exert your needs. And when a manipulator is trying to guilt you for you having certain needs or you having certain boundaries, they're trying to guilt you on your own boundaries. What kind of twisted thing is that, right? You have a certain boundary that by 6 p.m. you don't want to be, you don't want to be, you don't want to deal with bullshit, and then, they knock at your neighbor is a manipulator, he knocks at your door, asks some stupid shit, right? And they make you feel guilty for whatever thing, right? What the fuck? It makes no sense. You should never feel sorry for having boundaries. You should never feel sorry for having your own needs and protecting those needs. Don't let anyone step on top of your needs, because once you start apologizing for yourself, for your own needs, you've already lost. The next tip for you is to never try to change a manipulator. Never try to bother to change them. Don't try to bother to change them. I've heard so many stories of women who, are in a toxic relationship with, like a narcissist boyfriend, and they've been with that boyfriend for 16 years, has 4 kids, because they hoped that within these 16 years that he was going to change, and he never changed, right? It's not going to happen. They're not going to change. They're not going to fucking change. So what are you going to do? You have to move away from that relationship. You have to do something about it. You have to, don't try to solve a broken vase. Don't try to solve a broken vase. Like the vase has broken, fallen on the floor. If you try to repair it, yes, you can maybe use some super glue and all of that. But because it's broken once, it's already fragile anyway, and it's gonna be ugly anyway if you try to fix a broken vase. So just let it, throw it in the fucking garbage, and go to the shop and buy a new vase, right? That's what you should do with your friends. If your friends are toxic, throw them in the garbage and go find a better set of friends. The next tip for you is to never fall into their bullshit, right? Whatever their guilt trip stories, sometimes they're going to be extremely elaborate. Okay, they're going to tell you those crazy complex stories about how they went to the grocery store and this happened and that happened, and now they need your help, but because you didn't help them, you're a piece of shit, and I thought that was your friend, and now you just use me, and they're trying to make you look like the abuser, manipulator. Whatever stories they have, don't fall for their bullshit, and don't feel guilty. Never feel guilty when a manipulator is trying to manipulate you. Never feel guilty for it, right? Yes, you will step on toes. Yes, you will annoy some people. Yes, you will maybe come off to an asshole to that manipulator. Well, guess who's the asshole? Them, right? And it's the sad part, because often a manipulator doesn't even know that he's manipulating you. It's just their way of operating in the world. Maybe they've always been a manipulator and they've never known it. Maybe with them it's normal, And because it's so normal, if someone counters their manipulation, it feels like you're an asshole. Well, too bad for them. Too bad for them. Your needs are way more important than them, right? So just always listen to your needs. And if that includes not listening to their bullshit, don't listen to their bullshit. Their excuses, their lies, their cover-up stories, whatever, you don't even want to hear it. So block your ears and move on. The next tip for you to deal with a manipulator is to listen to the actual truth. Look for the truth, okay? Look for the truth, okay? If a manipulator accuses you that, you're not being responsible at, at work, maybe it's a coworker of yours, like, oh, you're not being responsible, you haven't put the card back in the customer service section, what did you do, what did you do? And then they throw a bunch of shit at you, right? Listen to the facts, okay? Listen to the facts, like, oh, well, maybe I didn't put the card right where it was supposed to go, but I did all my other job. I put all the inventory back in stock, and I did the rest of my job. It wasn't my job to put the card back. It wasn't my job. It was his job, right? Look at the facts. And once you have the facts, once you're connected to the truth, it's so much harder to feel guilty, right? If you don't have a strong association, if you don't have a strong connection to the truth, it's going to be very hard for you to keep your sanity, to keep your ground, to keep your confidence. But if you are connected to the truth, you will be fine. And if it's hard to be connected to the truth because the manipulator is just covering so much shit on top of the truth, still keep looking for truth. You have to find that truth. And my last and final tip, which is my favorite tip of all, is be someone fucking difficult to deal with. Be someone difficult to deal with. Be as difficult as them to be dealt with, right? Because they're being an ass to you, right? They're telling you, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Oh, you said you were going to do it, you didn't do it. What the fuck is wrong with you? And things you never said, whatever they're trying to throw at you, okay? And you're just gonna say, what you reply back is like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Okay, fine, I'll help you out. Okay, fine, whatever. And whatever you decide to do after that, it's up to you. It doesn't matter. Or if they throw you a bunch of bullshit and you don't want to do it, you just say, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. Can you say that? You say, no, I'm not going to do it. You know what? No, I'm fed up with your bullshit. I'm not going to deal with that. Right? So for example, me, I had a hard time with, I worked at a day camp at a while back with when I was 17, and there was like a bunch of cool kids that was working with me, and they sort of gave me a hard time for some reason. They always like troll me or make fun of me and all that. And I was like, why are they doing that, right? At first they were trying to be friendly with me, but they weren't actually friendly. They were trying to get close to me so they could laugh at me, right? Strange how that is, right? So they were very sneaky manipulators in that way, right? And what I decided to do is like, you know what? Whatever, I'm just gonna be nice to them, gonna talk to them. And then at a certain point, they started being toxic. Right, they started being toxic, and I was sort of mopping the floor, because we had to clean up the cafeteria, and the guy just told me, hey man, like, you don't clean like this, you fucking clean like this. And I'm like, and I just called him out, like, dude, don't fucking tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do. I'm doing my job here. You are not the boss, you're just another employee. Just ask the supervisor. If you're not having my job, just ask the supervisor. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me like that. Don't ever talk to me again like that, right? And I just called him out, and I decided to be difficult to be dealt with. Because if I was gonna, be easy on him and be like, oh yeah, maybe, I'm sorry, man, like, it's just gonna be like I'm just gonna get walked all over. So be difficult to deal with, right? Say no to whatever they're trying to, make you do. Just say no and move on. And if they're being difficult, be difficult back. Right? If they, let's say you have a toxic roommate and he wants you to, clean whatever stupid thing, and they tell you to clean the thing, and when it's their time to clean, they don't do it. Guess what? Just be difficult to deal with and be like, you know what? Just call him out like, hey, you know what? You didn't clean it. You were supposed to clean it. Just call him out, be difficult to deal with, and guess what? Your life will be much easier. Because it's not that you want to be an ass to them, it's that, you need to set some boundaries. And by saying no, by being difficult to deal with, then they're gonna respect you. If you respect yourself really, they're not gonna bother with you again, right? A bully only picks on people. A manipulator only manipulates people, really who are weak. They manipulate, they bully people who are just easy to be bullied. But if you're really difficult to be bullied, if you're really difficult to be dealt with, they're not gonna deal with you. So learn to grow a tough skin. And you know what happens a lot with manipulators is that because they're always trying to throw smoke at you and make your life worse, sometimes you're so bothered with what they want that you forget about your own needs, you forget about who you are, and you forget about what you want, and you don't make your life about yourself, you make your life about these stupid toxic people. And for that reason, maybe you lose your sense of purpose and your sense of who you are. And if you need help to find that sense of who you are, you can book a free consultation call with me, link in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video about this, how to deal with a manipulator, you're gonna love this series here about manipulation. And the first video I'll put here is on how to spot a manipulator. So I'll see you there. You have this sense of guilt and shame that you can't describe, you can't put into words, that you're just not quite sure where